The orchestra is the moment really the entire student body, absent our class of pianists, is there on stage. When you see our Colburn Orchestra, it essentially is the conservatory. So it has a very social aspect to it as well. And I think because it's the same membership throughout the time there, it really starts to function as a professional orchestra almost, because the membership is quite constant during the year, and the principal players and so forth are the same throughout the year.
Playing with the Colburn Orchestra this week at Edinburgh feels like the culmination of a long career at Colburn. I first came to the school when I was 11 years old, and I started traveling between my hometown of Seattle and Los Angeles every single week for lessons. It's always incredibly special to play with musicians who you not only respect, but also have great affection for. So being on stage with my friends and my colleagues is just a really moving experience.
Playing in the orchestra on tour right now is exhausting, of course, but it is really fun. It's personally my first time out of the country, out of the USA. There's a really good atmosphere and vibe within the orchestra right now. I think we're all in high spirits, and everybody at Colburn is so supportive, and it only makes you want to try harder and work harder, and I think it's why we're able to play so well together. It's really inspiring to be around so many nice, great, talented people.
Usually, when you perform with very young musicians, if you're very lucky to conduct, of course, very talented ones, you may obtain right away a very high level technically. But often, what is missing is a certain sense of maturity in the meaning of the piece, in the character of the playing. And I have to say that I had the chance to really work directly on this character, and they were proposing already something very mature.
4 before 65, that you don't rush and you speak this melody. 4 before, 3.
I thought I would have to add a lot of spices and really work the meaning of the piece. But actually, I just had to add my own interpretation, because they proposed me already a lot of character and a lot of musical choices. And that is something that surprised me from such young musicians.
The orchestra is made out of 17 years old to 24 years old when they graduate. So you see, there's many challenges there, many experiences that already was there. And so you have to then bring it all together.
This is the Year of Young People in Scotland, and we're an international festival. And so obviously this is from an LA school, but it's an international ensemble. And I thought what was terribly exciting, and particularly in relation to the choice of repertoire, was that there was a real sense of these different composers from around the world arriving in the new world and, you know, being let off the leash in a sense. And there was an exuberance in that. And so when you have players from all over the world who are almost having the same experience themselves, I felt that really came across. Expectations were high, but in all honesty, I think they surpassed expectations. And obviously with the youth orchestra, people have an idea, or an orchestra from a school, they set at a certain level. But I think you could feel it in the room. You could feel the surprise from very early on, that the sound that was coming from them, but also the commitment, but also a kind of a maturity perhaps that was surprising. And you know, the Edinburgh audience notoriously doesn't give up applause very easily. And so I think that the warmth at the end was really an acknowledgement of the quality of the play. Very happy man tonight. I think everyone who was in that concert hall is a happy man or woman. I mean, there's nowhere else like it in the world. It's a phenomenon. It is an act of phenomenal generosity and an act of kind of love for music that is unparalleled. So we feel very fortunate to know the people involved. They're very inspirational.
Richard Colburn really had three principal tenets in the creation of the school. One was to make sure that the youngest students had the opportunity to study with high quality teachers, that their foundational training was excellent. He also had this dream of finding the next Mozart, sort of discovering a very precocious young talent and nurturing that talent. And then he wanted to retain talent in Los Angeles by creating this conservatory of music and attract talent. And I think those aims have been well met, that students really can stay, the very most gifted students can stay in Los Angeles as they enter their conservatory years, and students from all over the world can come to Los Angeles. I would say every faculty member knows every student, and I certainly get to know them over the time that they're there, and I think that's a unique environment. It feels very much like a family.
One of the most special things about Colburn, in my opinion, and it's something really important to me, is that the feeling at Colburn is that of, Team Colburn. We're all doing this together. If someone's succeeding, then we are happy for them. We're not trying to pull each other down or get above one another. It's not about jealousy, it's about supporting each other.
My teacher, Mr. Girat, comes to Spain, where I'm from, every year to teach some master classes there. So I met him when I was only 16 years old. And I thought that it would be a dream come true to study with the best teacher, the best clarinet teacher in the world right now. I'm really grateful for being in that school and being able to get all that knowledge, not only from him, but from the great faculty that we have.
We do a lot of work within the community of Los Angeles, which is really great, whether it's performing outreach concerts or working with children that might not get to hear or study music otherwise. Colburn really focuses on community engagement and how we interact with our society.
Rehearsing with them the symphonic dances of Rachmaninoff, I thought, my God, they offer me a kind of West Coast sound for these symphonic dances, meaning something very lush, very vibrant, something glamorous actually in the sound. They are offering a very special sound that is from West Coast, and I'm curious to see how they will carry that in their career.
Colburn has been there with me really every step of the way. Not only did I think they make my dreams come true, they really helped me achieve dreams that I didn't know I had. When I first started there, I was so in awe of the students that were surrounding me, the pedagogy that was on display, the facilities at Colburn, and really over time as I became more familiar with the school, got to know more people, the individual attention and opportunities that they were very particular about offering me at the right time really just kept multiplying and kept feeding on each other. Eventually, I started working with this program, Colburn Artists, which was sort of an in-house management that allowed for students pursuing solo careers to experience the business side of the industry, but within the safety of a school where the emphasis was dual on education and performance and business. So through Colburn Artists, I was introduced to figures who were incredibly important in my life, from conductors of major orchestras to making my LA Phil debut, to meeting Gustavo Dudamel, and eventually the introduction that started me with full management with Opus 3 artists. So Colburn has really facilitated every single important step of my career. They've been there for every single one, and every single one has really been because of the support of so many people working together.
You know, what is great with music is that we all look for perfection, but we will never obtain it, be it with student orchestra, be it with professional orchestra, and that's why we do music all our life, and that's why I think I will die as a conductor, romantically I even hope on stage, because indeed you feel that music is like this immense mountain and you never see the top of it. So what is fascinating is that with an orchestra like Colburn Orchestra, you do start actually with a very high technical level, with musicians that are very talented and already have something to give, but you can always go further. And that's what a school like that is offering, is just to go beyond excellence.
At the Colburn School, you can find a way to become the best that you can. Not only that, you can, when you graduate from our school and you look back, you say, I'm not 2 layers deep. I'm now at least 25 layers deep as a musician.
Colburn School rocks!